Yes, welcome to Kenya USA Times TV. It's another day, it's another time. And today I'm going to talk about how to unlock the DS260. I know it's around this time people are submitting their DS260s after being selected for DV, for example, DV 2025 Diversity Visa Lottery. If you've been selected, you are the winner. You are required to submit your DS260 as accurately as possible and as soon as possible. So, the most important thing here is to submit the correct DS260 with the correct information. However, sometimes while submitting the DS260, you may make some silly mistakes or some major mistakes. If it's about major mistakes, you are required to request KCC to unlock your DS260 so that you may correct the mistakes and resubmit the same DS260. So today I'm going to show you step-by-step process on how to request KCC to unlock your DS260 basing on my experience. First and foremost, I'm a DV 2023 Diversity Visa beneficiary. And for my story, while filling the DS260, I filled the DS260 and submitted my DS260 on May 14, 2022. And then after some days, I realized that I made some mistakes. And for my case, I still consider them as silly mistakes. That is now the time I requested KCC to unlock my DS260, which they did, whereby I corrected the mistakes and resubmitted the same. So I know maybe somebody somewhere has messed up, maybe has made some mistakes. It could be silly, it could be major mistakes, and you are thinking about unlocking your DS260. This is the right time, this is the right video for you to watch. Please watch, pay attention to whatever I'm going to tell you step by step. Remember, unlocking the DS260 is an important step, is an important decision. You have to decide whether you really want to unlock the DS260 or not. And before I show you how I did and what I did and at what time, I want to show you some basic facts about DS260. Okay, some people have asked me, does unlocking the DS260 delay the processing of the same? And I will tell you this. If it's about adding a spouse due to marriage, probably it will take some time to process your DS260. So in that case, it will delay your DS260 because you are adding somebody who was not in the initial application. Remember, it's possible to add somebody who was not in the initial application, but KCC will always want to scrutinize, do background check of the same so that they may decide whether this marriage you are doing, is it fraud? Is it for the purposes of immigration or is it legit? And that's why if you are unlocking your DS260 to add a spouse, they will scrutinize and it will take time. That is very important, number one. Number two, if you are adding a newborn child, probably this won't take some processing time since newborn could not have gotten into any trouble yet. That's very simple. And sometimes I've seen people requesting embassies, for example, to unlock their DS260 so that they may add newborn. It's possible for the newborn to be added during the interviews. However, this is only possible because maybe your case has already been scheduled for the interviews. But if it's way early enough before you are scheduled for the interviews, you are required to unlock your DS260 and add the newborn child. Straightforward. And once again, it will not take much time in processing of your DS260 if you are adding newborn. So don't worry about the issue of the delay. No, it's better delay than now the visa denial. Better delay than visa denial. Number three, changing the address you Okay, changing the address, you plan to move into the US. Okay, probably won't take, this will not take much time in the processing of your DS260. If you are changing the host address, it will not take much time. However, for this case, I advise you not to do it. Yes, you can always update this during the interview at the embassy or at the port of entry if it's about changing the host address. This is what I also did. First and foremost, I used a different address in while submitting DS260 for the host, that section for the host, somebody in the US. While also somebody who provided the affidavit of support, I-134 for me, was a different person. And that's where I ended up staying in. That ended up being my host stroke sponsor. So this was not a big issue. And then I requested the embassy to update the address. They say it's okay. Though, because I think they were doing a lot of stuff, they were not able to update. So I ended up updating it at the port of entry and it was successful. So if it's about changing the address of the host, don't unlock your DS260. No need of that. Number 4, adding an address in a country that was not previously listed on your initial submission of your DS260. For example, while submitting your DS260, you had not mentioned that you traveled to Canada or Qatar or South Africa. But while now resubmitting the same DS260 after unlocking, you are now saying that you went to Saudi or Qatar or South Africa. KCC will always want to know the veracity of the information you are inputting there and why you are now changing. You are now adding some information in your DS260. That way, they are doing background checks, and this will take some time for reprocessing of your DS260. This may delay your DS260 processing. Very important because it's a major issue. Another issue that may delay the processing of your DS260 is if you are now changing, for example, something very important like name. Maybe in the initial application, you had said that you are John. Now after unlocking, you are now resubmitting, and then you said that you are Robert. KCC will always take precaution, will always do background checks because the issue of identity theft is a big issue. And that's why it may delay the processing of your DS260. Otherwise, for flimsy, silly mistakes, those ones will not delay the processing of your DS260. That is how my case was. I had made silly mistake. I should not have unlocked it. But all the same, I did unlocking and then I resubmitted, and it never affected the processing of my DS260. And in any case, I was among the first people to receive 2NL. Let's read some literature again here. Note this, very important if you are thinking about unlocking your DS260. No need to unlock for very minor errors. For example, spelling mistakes on an address, symbol date inaccuracy on the education. Sometimes you may estimate the time maybe you join your high school. You don't need to unlock your DS260 if you made a mistake or residency history. With these errors, they are unlikely to be impactful at all to your case, even if left unchanged. Those are now what we call silly mistakes. They will not affect the processing of your DS260, and you don't need to unlock the DS260 for this. Secondly, errors that should be changed as soon as possible. Examples of this are, for example, identifying data points. For example, mistakes on your name. Vile nilikuwa nimesema, you call yourself someone somebody else. Maybe you had said you are Robert, now you are John. With that, you need to unlock your DS260 as soon as possible. Date of birth. If you input the wrong date of birth in the DS260, in the initial DS260 form, you need to unlock your DS260. Date of birth is very important, and the place of birth, especially if they are in the passport. So if it's about that, you need to unlock the DS260. For my case, it was about city of birth. And the reason I'm saying my case was a case of silly mistake is because the original place, city of birth, I placed there, was already in the birth certificate as, yes, I think it was a district or what. So mine was a silly mistake, because as long as you have a backup for whatever you are inputting in the DS260, it's okay. But if you have no backup, that's a big mistake. Okay. Why are those things important? Because they are identified points. An error on this point could mean that your background checks are invalidated. Remember, the processing of your DS260 may involve doing background check, and they may do it without even your knowledge. Department of State has the ability to do that, background checks. And remember, while filling your DS260, there is that part you are filling the social media accounts, maybe your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your YouTube. They would always want to check whatever you are posting there. They would also want to check where you've gone, where you've traveled. You see, those are very important. So they always do background check. Very important. Okay, number 3, changes in your personal status. Examples include marital status. Let's say you filled your you submitted your DS260 and you said now you are single, but along the way you got married. That way you need to unlock your DS260 and update marital status changes. With this one, I don't want to lie to you, KCC will do more background checks, and even the embassy will want to scrutinize very thoroughly your marriage, yeah, you see, or adding of derivative through marriage or birth. So it's not always an easy thing. So if you have to do this, make sure you have backup documents. You have documents for everything you are doing, and then it will be okay as long as you have all the documents, blah blah blah, everything will be good. It is very important to make these changes as soon as possible, because if you are adding or subtracting an applicant from the case, you want to make sure any necessary processing of that person is complete. That is it about this. Let's now see what I did. First and foremost, there is an important email address you have to use, kccdv@state.gov. It's a government website by the Department of State. So you have to write an email to KCC stating that you want to unlock your DS260 and rectify some errors. And while doing so, there is a format on how to do the same. Let's see mine. Okay, email address for KCC. Okay, case number. You have to state your case number, full case number. You see, as you can see, I had a lowercase number. Principal applicant name in full. Preference category DV. For instead of eligibility, your country. For my case, Kenya. Post, which is the embassy. Where is your embassy? For my case, Nairobi. Date of birth. You have to put the date of birth in that format. Then you say, dear sir, stop, madam, Then you can say, please unlock my DS260. I want to make some changes in regards to this. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you. And then to back up your case, you can attach some PDF, some documents. For my case, I attached the birth certificate and the passport file page. It's always good to be sure. Then, when did nilifanya lini? I requested for unlocking on May 20th. Remember, I submitted my DS260 on May 14th. And some days later, I realized that I made some mistakes. Then on this date, May 20th, 6 days later, I requested unlocking. So you should not take much time if you are to do unlocking. Do it as soon as possible. And again, don't wait until you are scheduled for interviews. It will be very hard. So it's always advisable to time yourself very well if you want to do unlocking. Early unlocking is very good while people are still submitting their DS260s. Okay. When was their response? May 31st, 2022. How many days? About 11 days later, they responded to my email. They are always nice. Thank you for your inquiry. Your request to unlock the DS260s. Remember, for me and for my spouse, you indicated is now complete. Unlocked DS260 can be edited on SIAC website, Consular Electronic Application Center website. You may now make any necessary changes. Please note, you should underline this. Please note that unlocked DS260 should be resubmitted as soon as the necessary changes are made. Very careful. As soon as the necessary changes are made. Yes. You see? Failure to resubmit. Hear this. Failure to resubmit an unlocked DS260 may affect the processing of your case, including the scheduling of your interview. It may do what? Affect the processing of your case. If you fail or if you now leave your DS260 as incomplete or open, you'll not be scheduled for the interview. So I've seen somebody who requested KCC to unlock his DS260, but that person failed to resubmit. And it's only by good luck when he mentioned this to me, then I advised him to sign in and resubmit the DS260. Otherwise, it would have been something very different. Without resubmitting your DS260, you will not be scheduled for the interview. And remember, when you resubmit your DS260, you are required again to print the confirmation page, a new confirmation page, or save it somewhere. This will be required during the interview and also during the medical IOM if you are from Kenya. Okay, there is a message here. In order for Kentucky Consular Center to assist with inquiries regarding a specific diversity visa case, you must provide principal applicant's full name, case number, complete case number, date of birth in the following format: month, day, year. I don't know if you can see as entered on the original entry. You see? Oh yeah, my date of birth is not visible, but it should be month in the format month, day, year in that format. Yes, and you'll be good to go. They won't take much time to respond. Mine took 11 days, and I resubmitted. After making correction, I resubmitted my DS260 on the same day, May 31st. I know maybe you've submitted your DS260 and maybe you've realized that you've made some mistakes, you messed up. If it's a major mistake, you can always request KCC by writing an email to them to unlock your DS260. And when your DS260 has been unlocked, correct the mistake, review all the information, and then resubmit it as soon as possible. Alternatively, there could be also some situation whereby maybe the principal applicant, maybe you never made a mistake, but the principal applicant had a passport, but derivatives had no passport, or maybe your wife or spouse had no passport. And then while submitting your DS260, you decided now for the section of your derivatives, you choose the option other documents instead of passport. It's possible. I've seen some people doing that. You choose other documents, and maybe you can choose a birth certificate. And when you now get the passport, you can now request KCC to unlock your DS260. Then after inputting passport numbers or details, you are required to resubmit. That could be another scenario whereby you may require KCC to unlock your DS260 to update passport information. Remember, once again, passport information is very important, very important. You don't need to overlook this. Okay. Nonetheless, I've heard some stories of situation whereby about this passport update. Some people were successful in updating passport information during the interview, especially if it's not about the main applicant. If you are just updating the passport information for the derivatives, embassy, I repeat again, may accept to update or to unlock your DS260 during the interview. May accept. Yes. I'm yet to confirm this. Somebody told me that there is somebody who did that and was successful. So you need to do research about that. So the embassy may accept to update the DS260s for the derivatives, especially the passport section. So I think, in my opinion, if it's about passports for the derivatives, it could be possible to update at the embassy. But to be safe, because many people have been unlocking their DS260s to update the passport section of maybe derivative, you can request to unlock and you will submit as soon as possible. Especially if your case number is way high, as high as maybe 50 or 45, you can always request KCC to unlock your DS260. And in any case, your case number is way high, okay, you will get time to be interviewed, but it's not so soon, unlike somebody who is having a lower case number. So if you are having a lower case number and you can see that the passports may delay, you know, if you are from Kenya, for example, or East Africa, passport application may delay. You can try this method of updating or requesting the embassy to unlock the DS260 for the derivative during the interview. For derivatives alone. But if it's about the principal applicant, you need to request cases to unlock your DS260. That is very important. Okay. Once again, this email, kccdv@state.gov. You can use this email for two purposes. One, to unlock your DS260 and update the information and resubmit your DS260 as soon as possible. Secondly, you can use the same email address to make inquiries to check the status of your DS260 processing. So in my next video, I will show you how to make inquiries. Maybe after, this is possible after maybe you've submitted your DS260, then you give it a month, Then you start now to inquire from KCC how far they have gone in the processing of your DS260. Initially, they may respond, maybe they still need time to process your case. Or even after some point, they may say, okay, your DS260 has been processed. Anytime you may receive interview notification. That's 2NL. So this email address is very important. You can do inquiries to KCC. And remember, while doing inquiries, make sure you use the same format. You must state your case number, date of birth, country of chargeability, and then the way I did here. Yes, case number, your name, you see, country, category, your embassy, date of birth, which is very important if you are doing inquiries. Similarly, you can use the same format while asking for KCC to unlock your DS260 form. Okay, I know some people are still filling their DS260. If you have any issue about some filling the DS260, I have a video now to quickly fill the DS260 as accurately as possible. Not quickly, but as accurately as possible. I have a video about that, how I did, so that you may watch the video and see what I did in every category until the end. That way, you will not make silly mistakes. First and foremost, you can learn a lot from YouTube. If it's about the DS260 submission, some people have made videos on how to do that. So do more research. Watch these videos so that you don't make silly mistakes. If it's about unlocking, this is the right video. If there is somebody somewhere who wants to do unlocking or who wants to unlock his or her DS260, please share this video so that that person may learn how to do it safely. And that person may weigh whether the mistake he or she has made is a major mistake or a silly mistake. If it's a silly mistake about spelling, address, you don't need to unlock the DS260. If it's a major mistake affecting maybe personal status, marital status, adding a child, or maybe your name, date of birth, you may need to unlock the DS260. And once again, if it's about now adding the child and you've realized that you've been scheduled for the interviews, don't worry. You can request the embassy to unlock, you write to the embassy to unlock your DS260 during the interview, and you will be safe. That way, it won't take much time. Yeah, you are good. So, if you've been worrying about your DS260, maybe you've messed up, don't worry. Watch this video, share with your friends. And everyone, I wish you all the best. Those who are not selected, this video is also for you people so that you may learn how to do it as early as possible. For my case, I filled my DS260 on my own after watching videos from various people. You can always do these applications on your own. Watch tutorials from YouTube on how people are doing things, and you will learn very fast. It's always good practice to do things on your own. Yes. And then once again, don't delay in submitting your DS260. Don't delay. If you have all the information, and what is required again, passport, the host address is required. So if you have all those, don't wait for so long. Just fill your DS260. And especially if you are a single person, it's very easy to fill the DS260. God bless you so much as you fill your DS260 and submit it, or as you think about unlocking the same. Thank you so much. Please like my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel.